Hi everyone. So the word react is not in the title of this video because I've seen this before, but I wanted to do a watch through because there are some interesting things that are brought up but not really elaborated on in this video that I kind of want to, inject my every few seconds inject my 2 cents in. So we are going to watch it together. And I probably will include the whole thing, but, I'm going to be stopping a lot. So if you don't like those kinds of viewings, click away now. Okay.
Hi, you're on a rock, floating in space. Pretty cool, huh? Some of it's water. Fuck it. Actually, most of it's water. I can't even get from here to there without buying a boat. It's sad. I'm sad. I miss you. A long time ago, actually never, and also now, nothing is nowhere. When? Never. Makes sense, right? Like I said, it didn't happen. Nothing was never anywhere. That's why it's been everywhere. It's been so everywhere, you don't need a where. You don't even need a when. That's how every it gets.
Forget this.
I want to be something. Go somewhere. Do something. I want things to change. I want to invent time and space. And I know it's possible because everything is here and it probably already happened. I just don't know when to start. And that's exactly where it started. Oh, I paused it. I think there's a universe now. What's it made of? Quarks and stuff. Ah, that's a thing. In a place. Don't like it? Try a new place. At a different time.
The TM symbol.
It's going to get bigger and emptier. But it's not empty yet. It's still very full and about 1 jillion degrees. Great news. The quarks are now happily married in groups of 3 called a proton or a neutron. And there's something else flying around too that wants to join in but can't because it's still too...
An ad? Really?
You're not ready for it. Great news. The protons and neutrons are now happily married.
Okay, very quickly, this beginning part here that's more on the science-y, Big Bang sort of things, I don't really have a lot of knowledge on that, so I'm not really going to speak too much here. I would also like to quickly say, before I play, I am not a historian of any kind. I'm just interested in very specific parts of history. So, please don't think that I'm coming at this from the perspective of a professional. I am not. Okay, back to the video.
Each other. Some of them even doubled up. Great news. The electrons have now joined in. Congratulations. The world is now a bunch of gas in space. But it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. It's a star. New shit just got made. Some stars burn out and die. Bigger stars burn out and die with passion and make some brand new, way crazier shit. Space dust, which allows newer, more interesting stars to be made, and then die and explode into space dust. So now stars have cool stuff around them, like rocks, ice, and funny clouds, which can make some very
funny clouds.
Like this ball of flaming rocks, for example. Holy shit, we just got hit with another ball of flaming rocks, and it kind of made a mess, which is... Weather update, it's raining rocks from outer space. Weather update, those rocks might have had water inside them and now there's hot steam in the sky. Weather update, cooler temperatures today and the floor is no longer lava. Weather update, it's raining. Severe flooding alert, the entire world is now an ocean. Volcano alert. There's life in the ocean. What? Something's alive in the ocean. Oh cool, like a plant or an animal? No, a microscopic speck. It lives at the bottom of the ocean and eats chemical soup, which is being served hot and fresh, made from gnarly space ingredients left over from when it was raining rocks or whatever. Oh yeah, and it can do that. It has secret instructions written inside itself telling it how to build another one of itself. So that's pretty nifty, I would say. Tired of living at the bottom of the ocean? Now you can eat sunlight. Using a revolutionary technique, you can convert sunlight into food. Side effect, now there's oxygen everywhere and the sky's blue. Then the Earth might have been a snowball for a while, maybe even a couple of times.
Okay, so I want to pause here. He hasn't brought up the dinosaurs yet, but if you've seen this video before, you know that he kind of skips over them, and something I very quickly want to say, since he brought up the Earth snowball, is that there were various species of dinosaurs in the ancient Arctic that evolved to live there and be able to survive, including Nanoxaurus, who was a type of tyrannosaur. T-Rex is just one type of tyrannosaur, the most famous one. But Nanoxaurus was a tyrannosaur that lived in the ancient Arctic and was covered in fur, and also at adult size was like half the size of most tyrannosaurs. So basically, miniature fluffy T-Rex existed. So I just wanted to tell you all that, because I just love that so much. Also, he is about to mention the Cambrian explosion. Super fun. But he did kind of gloss over, it wasn't just that those tiny little bottom of the ocean organisms that we just saw, it didn't just go from that to the Cambrian explosion. There were a handful of the first creatures on Earth that started evolving before the Cambrian, but the Cambrian is when things really diversified, which is why it's called the Cambrian explosion. Anyway, let us continue.
Sponge. It's a plant. It's a worm and some other types of weird, strange water bugs and strange fish. It's the Cambrian explosion. Wow, that's animals and stuff. But we're still in the ocean. Hey, can we go on land? No. Why? The sun is a deadly laser. Oh, okay. Now the animals can
The
go on land.
ozone.
Come on, animals, let's go on land. Don't
Which we
care
are
what yet.
destroying.
And there's no food yet, so I don't care. Okay, will you learn to walk if there's plants up here? Maybe, said some bugs. And fish. Okay, so I could go on land, but I have to go back in the water to have babies. Learn to use an egg.
I was already doing that.
Use a stronger egg. Put water in it. Have a baby on land in an egg. Water
Stronger
is the
egg.
Baby in the egg, in the water, in the egg. Works for me. And now everything's huge, including bugs. Want to see a map of the land? Sure.
Okay, very quickly, because of the fact that he mentioned how the first living creatures on Earth were all basically aquatic, and then they developed to be able to go on land. And something I wanted to touch on is similar to how animals can evolve to live on land and can evolve to live in water. Like lots of aquatic animals that have like flippers, on the inside of the flipper there are like individual lines of bones that would account for digits that their very, 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 very distant ancestors would have had. But there are many, many cases that are observed of animals evolving to live on land and then evolving to live back in the water, or that evolved to live in water and then evolved again to live back on land. And you can see evidence of this in their skeletons. And I don't know what that phenomenon is called, but I think that that's really interesting. So I think he's about to bring up the dinosaurs.
Oh fuck, now everything's dead. Just kidding, here are the survivors. Keep your eye on this one, because it's about to become the dinosaurs. Here's another map of the land. Yeah, it broke apart, don't worry about it, it does that all the time. Here comes a meteor.
And the dinosaurs are gone.
It's mammal time, here come the mammals. Look at those breasts. They're gonna dominate the world, and one of them just learned how to grab stuff. And walk. No, like, walk like that.
Also, very quickly, I believe... No, he definitely didn't. I was going to say I believe he didn't, but he definitely did not mention every major extinction event in Earth's history. He kind of glosses over a lot in order to get to human history. So all of the stuff like before this moment in the video where we're seeing humans evolving, that is very much, this whole thing is Cliff Notes, but that section at the beginning is even more a Cliff Notes version. So
Stuff at the same time, and bang rocks together to make pointed rocks. Ouch, and set things on fire. Youch, and make crazy sounds with their voice, which can mean different things. And now they're everywhere. Almost. What? You can walk over here? Cool. Well, I guess we're stuck here now. Let's
If you
An
want your
ad.
it's important to use a strategy that works. You have to play with.
Let's review. There's people on the planet, and they're chasing their food. Fuck it, time to plant some grass. Look at this. I control the food now. Now everyone will want to be my friend and live near me. Let's all build houses, except mine is bigger because I own the food. This is great. I wonder if anyone else is doing this. Tired of using rocks for everything? Use metal. It's underground. Better farming was just invented in a sweet, dank valley right in between these two rivers, and the animals are helping. Guess what happens next? More food, and more people who came to buy the food. Now you need people to help make the food and keep track of the sales. And now you need houses for people to live in and people to make the houses. And now there's more people and they invent things, which makes things better. And more people come and there's more farming and more people to make more things for more people. And now there's business, money, writing, laws, power. This is so...
Yep.
Coming soon to a dank river valley near you. Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, the horse is probably being tamed. Why is all my metal so lame and lumpy? Tired of using lame, sad metal? Introducing bronze made with special ingredient
Play.
from the far lands of Tinland. I don't know, my dealer won't tell me where he gets it. Also, guess what? You know, in the middle of nowhere, they figured out how to put wheels on a horse. Now we're getting somewhere.
Okay, quickly. So the ancient Egypt that you see talked about in museums and history classes, documentaries, that is specifically dynastic Egypt. Egypt's dynastic period, which is the period in Egypt's time where there were pharaohs and the pyramids were built and the Egyptian pantheon was worshipped, all of that. But pre-dynastic Egypt is interesting as well because there were a few different groups, tribes, if you will, that lived in the area, roughly around the area that would become Egypt. And one of those groups had stone carvings that look very similar to the art style of all of the beautiful like paintings and hieroglyphics that you would then see from the dynastic period of Egypt. So it's really fun to see that progression, but not a lot of people know about it, so there you go.
So China, did I mention Indus Valley civilization? Where did she go? Middle East is getting more complicated. Maybe because it's in the middle of the East. Knock knock, or clop clop. It's the people with the horses, and they made an empire.
Clop clop.
And then everyone else copied their horses. Greeks. Oh look, it must be the Greeks, or a beta version of the Greeks. Let's check in with the Indus River Valley civilization.
Beta.
They're gone. Guess who's not gone? China. New arrivals in India. Maybe it's those horse people I was talking about, or their cousins or something. And they wrote some hymns and mantras and stuff.
You can make a religion out of this.
There's the Bronze Age collapse. Now the Phoenicians can get down to business. Also, can we switch to a metal that's a little easier to find? Thanks. Look who came back to Israel. It's the 12 tribes of Israel. And they believe in God. Just one, though. He's got like a 10-step program. Here's some huge heads. Must be the Olmecs. The Phoenicians make some colonies. The Greeks copy their idea and make some colonies. The Phoenicians made a colony so big it makes colonies. Here comes the Assyrian Empire. Never mind, it's the Babylonian Median. It's the Persian Empire. Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
Ah, the Buddha was just enlightened. Who's the Buddha? This guy who sat under a tree for so long that he figured out how to ignore the fact that we're all dying. You can make religion out of this. Oops, China just broke, but while it was breaking, Confucius was figuring out how to have good morals. Ah, the Greeks just had the idea of thinking about stuff. And right over here, Alexander just had the idea of conquering the entire Persian Empire.
Have you ever seen that meme of two philosophers? And one of them says, like, what if the Earth orbits the sun, and the other says, what if your wife orbits my dick? That's an old meme. That's like a meme from 10 years ago, but I still think it's funny.
Idea. He was great. And now he's dead. Hopefully the rest of the gang will be able to share the empire evenly between them. Knock knock, it's Chandragupta. He says, get the hell out of here. Will you get the hell out of here if I give you 500 elephants? Okay, thanks, bye. Time to conquer all of India.
Most.
But what about this part? That's the Tamil Kings. No one conquers the Tamil Kings. Who are the Tamil Kings? Merchants, probably. And they've got spices. I would like to buy the spices. Me, said the Arabians, swiftly buying it and selling it to the rest of the world. Hey, China put itself back together again, with good morals as their main philosophy. Actually, they have 3 main philosophies. Out here, the horse nomads run wild and free, and they would like to ransack your city.
The video game noise.
Let's check the Greekification levels of the Greekified kingdoms. Greekification overload. Bye, said the Parthians. Bye, said the Jews. Hi, said the Parthians, taking over the entire place. Hey, said the Romans, eating the entire Mediterranean for breakfast. Thanks for invading our homeland, said the Jews, who were starting to get tired of people invading their homeland. Hi, everything's great, said some guy who seems to be
Some
getting
guy.
popular and is then arrested and killed for being too popular, which only makes him more popular. You can make a religion out of this. Want silk? Yeah, you can buy it from China. They just made a... Get their own water. Say, new trade routes, said India, accidentally spreading their religion to the entire southeast. That's a good place for an epic trading kingdom. There goes Buddhism traveling up the Silk Road. I wonder if it'll reach China before it collapses again. Remember the Persian Empire? Yep, said the Persians, making a new one. Axum is getting so powerful that we'd like to build a long stick. Has anyone populated Madagascar yet? Let's do it together. Still can't cross the Sahara Desert? Try camels. Hell yeah, now we got business, said the guy in Empire, selling lots of gold. It's like, hi, I live in the Roman Empire and...
He really skipped over that, huh?
Wondering, is loving Jesus legal yet? No. Actually, okay, sure, said Constantine, moving the capital way over here to be closer to his main rival. Don't worry about Rome, it won't fall. It's the golden age. There's the Gupta Empire, not Chandragupta, just Gupta. First name Chandra, the first. Guess who's in Rome? Barbarians. What's a barbarian? Non-Romans, said the Romans, being invaded by non-Romans. R.I.P. Roman Empire.
Okay, since we're talking about the Roman Empire, I have to bring up one of my special interests. A lot of people know about Pompeii, but Pompeii has a quote-unquote sister city, which is Herculaneum, which was also preserved by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. And Herculaneum, although comparatively much smaller, at least the section of it that is currently excavated, which is theorized to be about a quarter of the city, it's comparatively smaller than the currently excavated ruins of Pompeii, but the preservation of Herculaneum is much, much better than in Pompeii. A lot of the frescoes, like the paint and the tile is more well preserved, and even wooden furniture got preserved because it got petrified. So there were a lot of missing pieces of that part of the ancient world in terms of their everyday lives and in terms of like how they would furnish their homes that Herculaneum has allowed historians to kind of fill in the blanks a little bit more. And in Herculaneum there was also, actually, I don't know if it was Herculaneum or Pompeii, but I'm pretty sure it was Herculaneum. A bust was uncovered that had some paint on it. So those Roman and Greek statues made out of alabaster that people portrayed as like just, you know, being that pure white material with no decoration added, that wasn't actually true. They were painted. It's just that the paint had come off, had either already worn off or in the process of uncovering these statues would wear off because of, well, I don't want to blame the people that were digging them up, but it was oftentimes like not being as gentle as you could be, and then the paint like dissolves. So yeah, speaking of paint, and I think this was also Herculaneum, that there was like brushes and bowls of like powder pigment that would be like turned into the paint that would be used for the frescoes in one of the houses in Herculaneum. So there was like a half-finished painting on the wall in a room in one of the houses, and they literally found the artist's materials from the day that like everyone left to try to get away from all the debris from the eruption. which is really cool. Really, really cool. So yeah. Play.
They just half of it. The other half is just fine, but it's not in Rome anymore, so let's give it a new name. The Mayans have figured out the stars. Oh, and here's a huge city, population everyone. The Goat Turks have taken over the entire Eurasian steppe. Great job, Goat Turks. How's India looking? How's China? Back together. How's those trading kingdoms? Bigger and there's more of them. Korea has 3 kingdoms. Japan has a kingdom. It's the Sunrise Kingdom.
Okay, we have an ad placed right at the intermission, which is funny.
Deep in the
Okay. Since Japan got mentioned now, the author of the earliest recorded fiction novel is from Japan. Lady Murasaki Shibiku, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, I'm so sorry, lived during the Heian period in Japan, I think, and she wrote a collection of poems, but also wrote the novel Tales of Genji in the 11th century. Yeah, so that would be what, approximately 1,000 years ago? And language was so ever-changing, like written language, that by the end of just that century, her original work was almost not legible, and there have been multiple translations of Tales of Genji through the centuries. I don't know what the most recent translation was, but there are many, and I find it very fascinating. Because it was not really common in that time for women to be literate, and not only was she, but then she goes and writes a novel when, as far as we know in recorded history, that wasn't really a thing. Tales of Genji is the oldest surviving fiction novel as we would define a fiction novel of the ancient world that we know of. So that's very, very interesting. Anyway, let us continue.
Desert on the top of a mountain, the real God whispers in Muhammad's ear. So he goes down to the cube where everyone worships gods, and he tells them their gods are all fake. And everyone got so mad at him that he had to leave town and go to a different town. You can make a religion out of this, and maybe conquer the world as well. The Roman Empire is long gone, but somehow the Pope is still the Pope. Plus there's new kingdoms all over Europe. I wonder if there's room for Moors. Here's all the wisdom. In a house. It's the Baghdad House of Wisdom. Just in time for the Islamic Golden Age. Let's bring stuff to the coast and sell it and become the Swahili on the Swahili coast, said the Swahili on the Swahili coast. Remember this tiny space you have to go through to get from here to there? Someone owns that now. Want to get enlightened in the middle of nowhere? The Franks have the biggest kingdom in Europe, and the Pope is so proud that he invites the king over for Christmas. Surprise, you're the new Roman Emperor, said the Pope, pretending to still be part of the Roman Empire. Then the Franks broke their kingdom into what will later be called France and not France. The Northerners, or just Norse if you don't have much time, are exploring. They go north, from the north to the northern north, and they find some land, 2 types of land, and they name them accordingly. They also invade some other places and get called many names, such as Vikings. There's the Rus, the Kievan Rus. Are they Vikings? I don't think so, said the Kievan Rus. Okay, fair enough. The Pope is ready to make some more emperors of the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire. It's actually Germany, but don't worry about it. New kingdoms. Which brand would you like? Mine's better, mine's better, mine's better. Time to conquer England, said William. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's the Seljuk Turks, said the Byzantine Empire, who's getting so small it almost doesn't exist anymore. We need help. They need help, so they call the Pope. Hey, Pope, can you help us get rid of the Seljuks? Maybe take back the Holy Land on the way? Come on, I know you want to take back the Holy Land.
The visuals are very funny.
Let's do a crusade. Crusade! They did many crusades, some of which almost didn't fail, but at least the Italians
Almost
got some sweet
didn't.
ideas. Goodbye, Mayans. Hello, Toltecs. Goodbye, Toltecs. Hello, Mississippi. Look at those mounds. There's the Pueblo. I always wondered how to build a town in a cliff. Guess who's here? Come here. Where? Here. And Pagan is there. Vietnam unconquered itself, Korea just became itself, and Japan is so addicted to art that the military might have to take over the government. China just invented bombs and typing, and the Mongols just invaded most of the universe. Nice going, Genghis. I bet that will last a long time. Some of the Islamic Turks were unaffected by the Mongol invasions because they were busy invading India. Is it Tonga time? I think it's Tonga time. I just found out where the Swahili gets all their gold. Look at this Chad. means lake. There's an empire there, right in the middle of it. The king of Mali is so rich he's going on tour to let everyone know. Wow, that guy's rich, everyone said. The Christians...
So Mansa Musa, not only was very rich then, but even if you were to account for inflation, even in modern day, he comparatively had more riches than any of the world's current billionaires. At least if the information that I've seen about him is correct, then that's a lot. That's a lot of money, a lot of riches. Good for him.
Doing a great job reconquering Iberia, which will soon be called Spain and not Spain. Please remain Christian. We will check in later to see if you're still Christian when you least expect. Whoops, half of Europe just died. China's
Skip
back.
over
Yay.
that,
Big
yeah.
kingdom, time to share. New kingdoms here and there. Oh, look who controls all the islands. It's the Mahajapit, Majapahit, Mapajahit, Mahapajit, Mapajahit, Majapahit. Oh, Italy's really rich. Time for them to care a lot about art and the ancient classics. It's kind of like a rebirth. Here's a printer. Let's make books. So you think you can conquer the Byzantine Empire? Yep, said the Ottoman Turks. Nice job, Ottoman Turks. Oops, you missed a spot. Don't forget to ban Europe from the Indian spice trade. What? That's bullshit, said Portugal. Spiceless. Well, I guess we'll have to find another way to India. Wait, said Christopher Columbus.
Probably smoking crack.
If the world is round, let's go this way to India. No, don't worry. We already got this, said Portugal. So Chris goes to Spain. Hey, Spain, want to hire me to find India by going around back of the world? No, please, no, please, no, please. Okay. So he sails into the ocean and discovers more ocean, and then discovers the Indies and Japan. Let's draw a line to decide who gets which half of the world. The Aztec and Inca empires are off to a great start. I wonder if they know that Europe just discovered their continent. The Habsburgs are marrying into so many royal families they might have to start marrying each other.
The Targaryens in Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon are loosely based off of the Habsburgs, largely due to the incest. Fun fact, my historical doppelganger is Sissy of the House of Habsburg, but she's also called Elizabeth of Austria. You might not notice her resemblance to me at first because I have my hair dyed, but I naturally have brown hair and so does she, and our side profiles look very similar. So yeah, I call her my doppelganger.
Lithuania, here comes Moscow. Ivan wants to make Russia great again. Move over, Timurids. Maybe go invade India or something. Persia just made Persia Persian again. Let's make it the other kind of Islam. The one where we thought the first guy should have been the other guy. Hey, Christians, do you sin? Now you can buy your way out of hell. That's bullshit. This whole thing is bullshit. That's a scam. Fuck the church. Here's 95 reasons why, said Martin Luther in his new book, which might have accidentally started the Protestant Reformation. You know what would be magnificent, said Suleiman wearing an onion hat? What if the Ottoman Empire was really big, which it is now? What if Russia was big, said Ivan, trying not to be terrible? Portugal had a dream that they controlled the entire Indian Ocean, including the spice trade. And then that dream was real. And Spain realized that this is not India, but they pillaged it anyway. Damn, said England and France. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Then the Dutch revolt and all the hipsters moved to Amsterdam. Damn, said Amsterdam. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Question 1, can you get to India through North America? No, but at least there's beaver. Question 2, steal the spice trade. That's not a question, but the Dutch did it anyway. Guess where all the sugar's made? In Brazil, stolen, in the Caribbean. And it's so goddamn profitable, you might forget to not do slavery. The next thing on Russia's to-do list is to get bigger. Britain and France are having a friendly discussion about who should control the entire world. More specifically,
Ohio.
it escalates into a 7-year discussion, giving Prussia a chance to show Austria who's boss. But what about Britain and France? Did they figure out who's boss? Yes, they did. It's Britain. Guess who's broke?
Also
So
Britain.
they start taxing the hell out of America. Fuck you, says America, declaring their independence and fighting for it. And France helps them win. Now France is broke. And Britain will have to send their prisoners to a different continent. Wait, if France is broke, why do the king and queen still wear such fancy dresses? Let's overthrow the palace and cut all their heads off, said Robespierre, cutting everybody's head off until someone eventually got mad and cut his head off. You can make a relit meltdown. Haiti is starting to like the idea of a revolution, especially the slaves who free themselves by killing their masters. Why didn't we think of this before? Wait, who's in charge of...
Good for them. Play.
Now, said Napoleon, trying to take over Europe. Luckily, they banished him to an island.
But he came back.
They banished him to another island. There goes Latin America, becoming independent in the Latin American Wars of Independence.
Good
Britain
for
just
them.
figured out how to turn steam into power, so now they can make many different types of machines and factories with machines in them, so they can make a lot of products real fast. Then they invent some trains and conquer India and maybe put some trains there. Hey, China, said Britain, buy stuff from us. Nah, dude, we already got everything, says China. So Britain tried to get them addicted to opium, which worked actually. But then China made it illegal and dumped it all into the sea. So Britain threw a hissy fit and made them open up 5 seas and give them an island. Britain and Russia are playing a game where they try to stop each other from conquering Afghanistan. Also, the Sultan of Oman lives in Zanzibar now.
That's just where he lives.
India just had a revolution, and they would like to govern themselves now. Nope, said Britain, governing them even harder than before. Technology is about to go crazy. The United States finally figured out whether slavery is good or bad. It's bad, they decided. And then they continued manifesting their destiny, which is to kill the rest of the natives and take their land and maybe kick out the Mexicans too. I know, let's rape Africa, said Europe, scrambling to see who could rape it the fastest. They never got Ethiopia. Britain and France are still hungry. They never got the United States ran.
Not the most delicate way to put that, but it is a very brutal part of history, so I guess you might as well describe it brutally.
Destiny to manifest, so they're looking for more. Cuba. Wait, Spain controls Cuba. Well, blame something on them and go to war. What should we blame on Spain?
The American
Let's blame
dream.
the Maine on Spain, so they blame the Maine on Spain. Now we're in business. To celebrate, they kick Panama out of Panama and make a canal, connecting the two oceans. Britain just found oil in the Middle East. It makes cars go. China is so tired of being bossed around that they delete their old government and make a new, stronger government, which is accidentally weaker and controlled by a guy from the previous government. Europe hasn't had a war since the last war, so they start World War I. Look at those guns. It's going to be a great war. So great we won't need a second one. After it's over, Germany. Russia went on strike and the workers overthrew the government. Now everyone's paycheck is the same. Communism in the Soviet Union. The Arabs revolt and Britain helps. Now the Ottoman Empire's gone, so we can give the Jewish people a place to live. Hopefully the Arabs won't mind. Let's cut the cake, said Sykes and Picot, carving up the remains of the not-so-Ottoman-anymore empire. Except Turkey, Turkey makes a brand new Turkey. And then the Saudis conquer Arabia. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Hello? Yes, it's the 1920s calling. Let's get in the car and drive to a party and listen to jazz on the radio and go to the movies. The economy's great and it'll probably be great forever. Just kidding. Germany's back featuring Hitler, the angry mustache model, and he's mad at the Jews for existing. Japan is finally conquering the East, and they're so excited they raped Nanking way too hard. They should probably just deny it. Hitler's out of control, so the international community tackles him and tries to explain why killing all the Jews is a bad idea, but he kills himself before they could explain it to him. That's World War II. Bonus round, Pacific Showdown. United States
Here we go.
versus Japan. Fight. Finish it. Let's unite all the nations and have some world peace. Seems legit. Hi, I'm Gandhi, and if Britain doesn't get the hell out of India, I'm going to starve myself in public. Wow, that worked. Bonus, now there's Pakistan. Actually, 2 Pakistans. One of them could be Bangladesh later. The Jews and the Arabs finally figured out which one of them should live in the Holy Land. Me, they both said at the same time. Let's divide up the land so everyone's happy. Psych, they both get angrier. Look out, China. There's a new China in China. What's on the menu? Communism. No thanks, said the other China, escaping to an island. I wonder which one.
No thanks.
There's the Korean War. Korea versus Korea. Nobody wins, then it's on pause forever. Let's meet the sponsors. Oh, it's the 2 global superpowers. They're having a friendly debate over which economic system is good and which one is an evil virus of Satan. And they both have atom bombs. Fight! Wait, no, that will be the end of the world. Let's just keep it cool and spy on each other instead. And make sure we have enough atom bombs. I'll race you to space. Now let's make some more countries fight themselves. Europe is tired of pillaging other continents, and the continents they were pillaging are tired of being pillaged. So here's a new map with new countries. Now you can't tell who they're being pillaged by. The United States finally decided whether racism is good or bad. They decided it's bad, and the world agrees. South Africa might need another minute to think about it. Let's check the
Until
world population.
1991.
Okay. Technology's better too.
Yeah.
That might keep happening. The Soviet Union decides to relax a little and accidentally falls apart. Europe makes a union, so now they can all use the same money, except Britain because they don't feel like it. Let's check the mail. Surprise, it's on the computer. Whoops, someone just attacked America. I bet they'll remember that. Phone call. Surprise, it's in your pocket. Want to learn everything? Surprise, it's on the computer. Now your phone's a computer, which is in your pocket. Whoops, the economy just crashed. Don't worry, the big banks won't fail because they're not supposed to. Surprise, flying robots. With bombs. Want to print a brain? Some people have no friends. Some people have no food. The globe is warming. And the ocean is full of plastic. Let's save the planet, said everybody, not knowing how. Let's invent a thing inventor, said the thing inventor after being invented by a thing inventor. That's pretty cool. By the way, where the hell are we?
Yeah. There probably were some other things that I wanted to mention and forgot, But I know that a lot of people do watch reaction videos because they want to see a first-time viewing, but I decided to make this because I figured I had enough that I could add to it, that even though you're not getting a first-time viewing, you are getting some extra information that you maybe didn't know before. So this will be on the playlist on my channel with all my other reactions. My other reactions are usually stuff like silent films, vintage experimental CGI, vintage cartoons, stop motion animation, vintage commercials, and colorized everyday life footage from decades of yesteryear. So if that stuff is interesting to you, if that type of history is interesting to you, then maybe consider checking that out. Anyways, thank you for watching this, and I will see you all next time.